The Panama Canal stands as a monumental feat of engineering and a critical artery for global trade. It's more than just a waterway. It's a vital link in the world's supply chain, facilitating the movement of goods between continents. Its strategic location and efficient operation have made it an indispensable component of international commerce. This remarkable canal serves as a crucial connection between the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans, creating a seamless pathway for maritime traffic. By traversing this canal, ships can save thousands of miles and weeks of travel, significantly reducing shipping costs and transit times. This efficiency has a profound impact on global trade, making goods more accessible and affordable worldwide. Since its inauguration in 1914, this 51-mile passage has been indispensable, playing a pivotal role in shaping the landscape of international trade and geopolitics. The canal facilitates the movement of a vast array of goods from consumer electronics and manufactured products to essential commodities like oil, grain, and minerals. This constant flow of goods through the canal directly impacts prices worldwide, influencing the cost of everything from groceries to gasoline. The canal's efficiency helps keep inflation in check and ensures a stable global economy. However, its strategic importance goes far beyond economics, extending into the realms of national security and international relations. The Panama Canal's control and security have long been a matter of vital interest to major powers, shaping national security strategies and geopolitical influence for nations around the globe. Its accessibility to naval fleets can project power and influence across vast distances. After decades of U.S. control, a significant turning point arrived when the canal was transferred to Panama in 1999, marking a new chapter in its history. This transfer symbolized a new era of sovereignty for Panama, as well as a commitment to maintaining the canal's neutrality and accessibility to all nations. Today the canal faces a complex array of new challenges that threaten its long-term viability and strategic importance. Among the most pressing of these challenges is climate change, which has caused severe water shortages, impacting the canal's ability to operate at full capacity. Simultaneously, geopolitical competition is intensifying, with various global powers vying for influence in the region. China, as the world's largest exporter and a major user of the canal, relies heavily on its efficient operation to facilitate its global trade. Meanwhile, the U.S. remains deeply invested in the canal's security and neutrality, viewing it as a critical asset for its own economic and strategic interests. Recent events, including the sale of key port operations to foreign entities, have thrust the canal back into the global spotlight, raising concerns about its future control and management. These developments are forcing Panama to navigate a delicate balancing act between two superpowers, each with its own agenda and strategic priorities. As a result, the Panama Canal's future now hangs in the balance, uncertain and fraught with challenges. The Panama Canal is rapidly becoming the center of a high-stakes global drama, where economic interests, geopolitical rivalries, and environmental concerns converge. The geopolitical landscape shifted, subtly at first, then with increasing speed and intensity. The world stage is constantly being rearranged, with new alliances forming and old rivalries intensifying. When Hong Kong-based C.K. Hutchison, a global conglomerate with diverse interests, announced the staggering $22.8 billion sale of its stakes in two crucial Panama Canal ports. These ports are not just ordinary pieces of infrastructure, they are vital arteries in the global trade network. The buyer, a US-led consortium, a group of investors with American backing, headed by the financial giant BlackRock, gaining control over a vast network of ports, a strategic advantage in global commerce, with Balboa and Cristobal as the crown jewels, the most prized possessions in this high-stakes game. Reports say Chinese President Xi Jinping was angered, deeply displeased by this turn of events. Frustrated that a Chinese-linked company, a corporation with close ties to the Chinese state, acted without Beijing's approval, circumventing the established channels of command. For Xi, these ports were strategic bargaining chips with the US, valuable assets in the ongoing geopolitical chess game. Their sale to American interests was a blow to China's leverage, diminishing its ability to influence events in the region. The deal exposed the tension between commercial decisions and statecraft, the conflicting priorities of profit and political power, as C.K. Hutchison's business move undermined Beijing's geopolitical plans, disrupting its carefully laid strategies for regional dominance. For China, the ports were more than assets, they represented a sphere of influence. They were footholds in a global competition, strategic locations in the ongoing power struggle. The sale to BlackRock was not just financial, it had far-reaching implications. It was a strategic setback, a significant loss in the ongoing geopolitical game, highlighting the limits of Beijing's influence, revealing the constraints on its power projection. This episode set the stage for further confrontation over the canal's future, a sign of escalating tensions in a critical region. The controversy surrounding the port sale was further inflamed by escalating rhetoric emanating from former President Donald Trump. He issued stark warnings about what he perceived as a growing and potentially dangerous level of Chinese control and influence over the Panama Canal. These concerns, voiced on multiple occasions, quickly escalated into a major point of contention. Trump went so far as to claim that China was effectively running the Panama Canal, a statement that raised eyebrows and sparked considerable debate both within the United States and in Panama itself. He then vowed to take it back if his concerns regarding Chinese influence weren't promptly and adequately addressed, a declaration that was widely interpreted as a direct challenge to Panama's sovereignty and its right to manage its own affairs. Panamanian President José Raúl Mulino responded swiftly and firmly, rebuking Trump's assertions and defending his country's position. He insisted that Panama alone maintains full control over the canal's operations and governance, unequivocally denying any significant or undue Chinese operational influence within the vital waterway. Further reinforcing this stance, the Panama Canal Authority issued its own statement, emphasizing its unwavering commitment to neutrality and independence in all its dealings. The authority reiterated that no foreign power, regardless of its economic or political clout, exercises control over the canal's day-to-day operations or its long-term strategic direction. For Panama, the idea of ceding control of the canal was simply unthinkable, a painful and unwelcome reminder of its colonial past and the long struggle for self-determination. However, U.S. pressure on Panama regarding Chinese influence wasn't limited to the pronouncements of Donald Trump alone. Senator Marco Rubio, along with several other prominent voices in the U.S. government, issued similar warnings to Panama, urging them to reduce Chinese influence. They suggested that failure to do so could potentially risk retaliation from the United States, although the specific nature of such retaliation was not explicitly defined. Consequently, Panama found itself in a difficult and delicate position, squeezed between its increasingly important economic ties to China and its long-standing and vital security partnership with the United States, a relationship that has been crucial for Panama's stability and defense. This complex diplomatic tension underscored the enduring strategic value of the Panama Canal in the 21st century, highlighting its importance to global trade and security. Panama's central challenge is to maintain its sovereignty and autonomy while carefully navigating the increasingly complex and fraught rivalry between global superpowers. Under intense U.S. pressure, Panama announced its withdrawal from China's Belt and Road Initiative, a major reversal from its 2017 decision to join. The move signaled a pivot back toward the U.S., straining relations with Beijing. China accused Washington of coercion, while the U.S. celebrated Panama's exit as a win against Chinese influence. For Panama, the risk of alienating the U.S., its largest trading partner and canal user, outweighed the benefits of Chinese investment. The decision highlighted the difficult balancing act for smaller nations caught between giants. Panama's withdrawal was a clear geopolitical statement, reinforcing U.S. influence in the region. The episode showed that despite China's economic rise, the U.S. still wields immense power in Central America. Panama's move calmed tensions with Washington, but deepened the rift with Beijing. Beijing responded to U.S. accusations with firm denials, insisting it has no control over the Panama Canal. Chinese officials emphasized respect for Panama's sovereignty and the canal's neutrality, framing their interests as purely commercial. China argued that operating port terminals is common in global shipping and does not equate to controlling the canal itself. The Panama Canal Authority retains full authority over canal operations, tolls, and safety. China accused the U.S. of fear-mongering and trying to contain its economic rise. The diplomatic back and forth revealed deep mistrust between the two powers. For China, the U.S. narrative was a Cold War relic. For Washington, it was about protecting strategic interests. The dispute underscored the canal's role as a flashpoint in global power politics. As China faced setbacks in Panama, it launched a bold pivot, building the $3.6 billion deepwater port of Chancay in Peru. Inaugurated in late 2024, Chancay is South America's first port for ultra-large container ships, offering a direct alternative to the Panama Canal. The port slashes transit times and costs for trade between Asia and South America, bypassing Panama's choke point. China's investment secures a gateway for its mining and agricultural interests, especially in Brazil and Peru. Chancay strengthens China's economic foothold and diversifies its trade routes, reducing reliance on the canal. For Latin America, the port offers new trade options and less dependence on US-dominated corridors. For the Panama Canal, Chancay is the most serious competitive threat in its history. The project is both a commercial and geopolitical statement, reshaping regional trade. Mexico is building its own rival to the Panama Canal, the interoceanic corridor across the Isthmus of Tehuantepec. The project modernizes ports on both coasts and links them with a high-speed rail, creating a land bridge for global shipping. With investments potentially reaching $50 billion, Mexico aims to transform its southern region and attract foreign investment. The corridor aligns with U.S. efforts to nearshore supply chains and reduce reliance on Asia. For the U.S., Mexico's project is a secure, friendly alternative to Chinese-backed routes. The corridor could divert significant trade from Panama, challenging its centrality. Success isn't guaranteed, but the project could reshape hemispheric trade and deepen U.S.-Mexico ties. Mexico's land bridge adds a new layer to the battle for trade supremacy in the Americas. The drama around the Panama Canal unfolded over years, with each event escalating tensions. In 2017, Panama joined China's Belt and Road, deepening ties with Beijing and raising alarms in Washington. Trump and U.S. officials ramped up warnings about Chinese influence, pressuring Panama to reconsider. In 2024, C.K. Hutchison announced the sale of its Panama port stakes to BlackRock, angering Beijing. Panama soon exited the Belt and Road, a move seen as U.S.-driven. China countered by opening the port of Chancay in Peru, while Mexico advanced its interoceanic corridor. By mid-2025, the Americas had a new competitive landscape for trade and influence. The Panama Canal was no longer the only major player in town. The Panama Canal crisis has sparked a new era of geopolitical competition in the Americas. The U.S. is using its power to defend its dominance, while China adapts by building alternative trade routes. China's setback in Panama led to the rapid development of Chancay, offering Latin America new options. Countries like Mexico and Peru now navigate between Washington and Beijing, seeking investment and leverage. This competition brings both opportunity and risk, as smaller nations can become pawns in a larger struggle. The Panama Canal faces credible competition for the first time in a century. The U.S. must contend with a more entrenched China, while Beijing learns that economic power doesn't guarantee political dominance. The future of trade and influence in the Americas is now more multipolar and competitive than ever.